Now, the artist of the day is the amazing Spiderman. He's everyone's favorite wall-climbing, web-slinging hero. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was one of the great box office highlights of 2014. And for this edition of the Artist series, I sit down with the movie's director, Mark Webb, the lead actor, Andrew Garfield, and lead actress, Emma Stone. Welcome to Beijing, welcome to the show. Mark, welcome to Andrew, welcome to Emma, welcome to all of you.
谢谢.
I know you've been here before. You said before the show 8 years ago you were in China shooting a music video.
Yes, in Beijing. I was shooting a video for a band called POD.
Welcome back again.
Thank you.
And what about you two guys? And you've been here before?
No,
First time.
First time, yeah.
I want to hear some good words.
Well, it's unlike anywhere we've been in the world before. It's completely singular. And we got a chance to really experience some of the culture by visiting the Forbidden City. We had a great guided tour and a guided tour of the Great Wall, and eaten some fantastic food and had some very interesting interactions with people. And it's been a very unique experience.
It's really surprising to see how much that character penetrates the entire world, how many people really recognize and love and are enthused about that character. That's always a surprising thing, no matter where you go, and that's been a fun process so far. Making a movie that's this long and this big, it requires enormous quantities of effort and a huge team, thousands of people from all around the world that are working on it for many, many months. But I don't think I ever stopped having fun this time. I felt really enriched by it.
I think Mark put it really well, and one of the last things he said was leading toward, like, we were all going towards something else. We were all moving toward the same thing, which was that character and serving that character. It's the secret of life, right? Once you're serving something greater than yourself, then all personal needs kind of vanish. All your energy is then kind of being focused into that one thing. And to have however many people working on that movie, like thousands? 3,000 people surrounding, like in a big metaphorical circle, holding hands, surrounding the mask of Spider-Man.
I mean, they were working around the clock, these animators and these artists, harder than we were. You know? I mean, it's incredibly humbling, and I think the only way that you can do that in a healthy way is to realize that you're serving some other master. It's a really wonderful thing.
But you know what? Like, there are 5-year-olds that have never ever read a comic book of Spider-Man, that have never seen a Spider-Man movie, and their first introduction to this beloved character is going to be through this film. So even if it's like one generation that are being affected by this film, it's completely worth doing.
Sometimes don't quite understand how come in America, in this one country, we have so many superheroes and there is a number. I don't know if that is true or not. Over 2,000 superheroes?
I think it started in the 30s, I think, you know, and Superman really sort of kicked the whole thing off.
In the 30s, you say?
So,
is that what it's? Well, that would make sense with the Depression.
Yeah.
I think that it offers you kind of this escape from your life into this other magical, mythical world where, you know, where you can rescue people and you can save people from reality.
It transcended it, though. It's something that, like, and us being here is an example of that, is that it touched on something so universal. And I think there's been an absence of really big mythologies that unite us all, and when those happen, whether it's Star Wars or Spider-Man, it's quite profound. And there are certain universal truths about mythologies that unite them all, and that's how, you know, we can watch really beautiful Chinese films that we've gotten to
globalization.
Absolutely, and I think that we're getting closer and closer, and it's just
there is a reason why we are projecting all of our hopes and dreams onto fictional characters, because maybe I don't want to put this delicately. Yeah, but the reality, maybe we don't feel protected in reality. So we do need to put all of this hope and energy onto something that we can trust and that we feel it will protect us. And it's very easy to do that with this red and blue suit and these friendly eyes and this ideal of what it is to be a protector and a good father. I don't know. It's dicey. I wonder why we do love superheroes so much.
I think, if you look at the history of superheroes and you think about, they do, like Superman would fight against the Nazis.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And he became the defender of what was scaring us in the zeitgeist, the nuclear era. You know, they would fight against big cockroaches that had, turned into by virtue of sort of this nuclear, waste, or the sort of the zeitgeisty fears are addressed by these superheroes, and we're protected by them. And now terrorism, is part of that. And if you go into look at comic books, that's something that they protect us from, and it helps us. It helps us feel safe, and it gives us something to look up to.
If we come back to the Spider-Man, how different is Spider-Man from the rest?
I think Spider-Man is a sort of a mercurial character. I think, he represents some physical agility and strength, but he's also a kid. Peter Parker, the guy under the suit, is just this relatable kid, and he's not a billionaire, he's not an alien. He's a high school student, and that is one of the most universal. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can identify with being an adolescent and being a little bit out of place and not being liked the way you feel like you should be liked. He's a rescuer. There's Thor, who's very strong. There's Batman, who's a battler, and there's these people and certainly Spider-Man can fight with the best of them. But he's also a rescuer. That's what those webs do. He throws out, he saves people, and that goes beyond just his physical ability. It goes into one of the things that happens time and time again in the comic books is he is an empath. He feels what other people feel, and and in our movie, he's always trying to dig inside, even the villains, even the bad guys. He's trying to appeal to something deeper inside of them, not just fight them.
The other aspect that I was going to talk about, which I don't know whether this links in with the Monkey King, it may or may not. I get the sense that
they fly anyway.
Is he kind of cheeky, and does he kind of mess about with people? And
sort of, yeah.
He's kind of a trickster.
He's a kind of a rebellious character.
Yes, yeah. One of the energies that Spider-Man holds is that rebelliousness, that prankster, trickster energy, that rule breaker, border crosser. Never taking the direct approach to deal with the situation, but taking the kind of the slalom bent arrow kind of meandering approach. He's not just this direct guy that's bashing someone over the head with a hammer. He's Bugs Bunny.
Get your hand off her.
I'm sorry.
Are you freaking kidding me? I'm so sorry.
Spider-Man resonated with me, and I didn't read comic books growing up, so I had seen the Sam Raimi trilogy, in the theater.
Yeah.
But I had grown up watching superhero movies. I could feel myself in Peter Parker's shoes as a woman and a young girl, as much as I would assume men could. There's this feeling that it doesn't really matter what your gender is. It doesn't really matter what your socioeconomic background is. It doesn't matter where you're from or what color your skin is, which Andrew mentions a lot. He is so relatable because he is a young man struggling. He's the most human of any superhero I can imagine.
Yeah,
even though he's part spider.
many other origin stories, and this applies to a lot of superheroes, is the power that they have feels like a curse initially. It feels like a burden. They don't know how to control it. But Frozen is we talked about a lot. We love Frozen. But it has that same principle where there's something that eventually becomes a gift and a source of great power. But it feels like it can make you lonely. It can hurt you. It's painful at times. Isolating, and it's the things that make you unique. Can haunt you, but they can also endow you with really extraordinary gifts if you treat them right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
That was fun. That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.